Welcome to How to Win Series 4. Hopefully you've enjoyed Series 2 and 3 and you're progressing well through the ranks. Now we're rocking for this one Oscar Piastri and Pierre Gasly to give you some strategy guides for Series 4. What I would advise though, you can pick other commons. Look out for that qualifying stat, which will give you a really good qualifying start. I'm doing it from the back of the grid to try and help you as much as I can, but still other ones like your old Yuki Tsunoda in Series 2, all your other drivers can still work. But in this series, we need tyre management as well, which Oscar Piastri does lack a little bit. So that's going to make it interesting. What we'll do is we'll keep on Yuki Tsunoda, because that is a very good card to use as well. So let's get into the car. And as you can see, we've put in Spectrum, which is a Series 4 part. And this is what it looks like so far. So looking pretty good for the early series as well. So with that in mind, let's get How to Win Series 4 underway. So here we go in Austin for our first track guide. 7 laps of Austin to come. And remember, if you do have any common drivers from Series 1, 2 and 3, and you've managed to get them up to 4, 5, level 6 or 7, then they might be better than the drivers that I am using in this. But for us, we start P11 and P15 to give you a kind of front and middle pack. Now, look at the weather. 35 degrees. That means this track is going to run out pretty quickly in terms of tyres. It's red hot. You can't believe what the tyre management is going to say because it doesn't take into account weather. So, we're going to push off the line. And hopefully Gasly can get his way around the outside here safely. Now he does it okay. And he's in to P11. And we've got a rival out in P2, which is going to make it hard for us to win this race. But he's on soft tyres. They're going to run out very quickly. And as always, we're just going to hold our position. We'll push with Gasly a little bit to take that, but we can't take it. And we're just going to look after our power unit. That's the key thing you need to learn in this game, is when you can, get some of that power unit back. Rival's pushing pretty hard. And we've got both of these drivers next to each other at the moment. You can see the rival behind pushing as well. And we might have enough tyre to do 4 laps here. Anyway, even with the heat, which would be optimum. And I will probably just bring in one driver earlier on, just to show you a different side of the strategy. So really, you could think that Gasly could be on mediums here, rather than the hards. But we're not going to lose out too much overall. So Gasly looking for a move, can't get it done. And yet again, we're just going to pull back on that power unit down the straight. And this race is not won in the first lap or two. This race is won longer. And you can see the rival now probably only got one more lap left in him on that medium. But he's got no power unit to go by. We've got some pit stops already. We're well on track to do 50%. And Gasly's going to carry on because he's got better tyre management than Tsunoda. It'll be Tsunoda who pits this time round. And we're going to move on to the softs. And what we'll do is we'll show you how quick them softs can run out. So let's push Tsunoda. Let's see if we can grab a few positions on the way through. And he can get our teammate, but he can't get Stroll. And Tsunoda now does get up to P9. And he tries and does get P8. Good move past the opponent there. And now what we're going to do is push Gasly, because he's alright on tyres. And just to get him ahead of any pit stops coming out. In comes Tsunoda. We're going to come back for hard tyres again on Gasly. And here comes Tsunoda in a bit of traffic. But does get out ahead of Russell and ahead of Piastri. Brilliant move from Yuki. So always remember you can switch your strategy, no problem at all. And we've got nearly 100% there with Gasly. So we're ready and primed for a one-stop race for Gasly. You can see Yuki's tyres running out pretty quickly. as we come round. And Gasly's now coming into the pit. So good work by him. Tsunoda trying to get round these cars. It's a bit of mayhem. And here he comes as an overtaking opportunity for 2 cars here. And can we get another one? We can. So Yuki gets back up into P5. And we're just on the 2-lap limit. And look at Gasly go. Gasly just out the pits, making a mockery of these. And you can see he's going to try and get the Red Bull with the old switcheroo. And let's get Tsunoda in. Let's push Tsunoda. Every little gap helps. Gasly doesn't have to pit, remember. A couple people around him will have to. And Tsunoda bursting in. So that change of strategy could have worked wonders in this race. That's why you always want to change it up where possible. And look at that, Tsunoda coming out in P7. And we've worked really well in this race to get where we are. We've basically done a 4-3 and a 3-2-2 to overcome this rival. We're going to boost again. Can we get Alonso down this straight? We're going to hold off with Tsunoda because we're going to have a big lap next time round. And Gasly is into P4. Tsunoda holding on. Looking for a move, and these are very close together. Any chance of a move? Not quite yet. No pit stops. Rival still out of the way in the lead. And we're going to just keep holding. And then we're going to start pushing in a second. Can we get Alonso? We can get Alonso up to P6. We'll push Gasly as well. And we've got Tsunoda into P5 now. This is a great race for you to have as a first race on the strategy guide. A 4-3 and a 3-2-2 to combat and overcome. And Tsunoda out of power unit now. And so is Pierre Gasly, but he takes and tries a move on that Mercedes, who's very slow. And we're going to try and use our last bit of battery on Tsunoda. Can he get to P3? Sadly can't. But that is a great first race in what is Austin 7-lap race. And we'll wait for the rival to finish just so we can summarise the strategy for you so you know exactly what to do yourselves back home. So the rival comes over the line. 1 race down already in Series 4. With a nice change of strategy too. We did get 41 points. And look at that. So 3-2-2 with Tsunoda. We did change it up. 4-3 with Pierre Gasly. So we're back in Abu Dhabi. We've done this in a previous series. And we're back again. Another hot one. But it's only 30 degrees at the moment. And with the drivers that we're using, they're very, very good enough for this. But we're getting absolutely out-qualified massively at the moment. With some high-rated drivers. So what we're going to do, we're going to put Gasly on a 4 laps and then pit. He's got better tyre management than Tsunoda. So we're going to do a 4-4 and a 3-3-2. Gasly gets a slow start, Tsunoda good. But we're going to leave these boosting. And look at that, Gasly looking at the outside. Always best to boost for this first part of the track on any circuit, because that's where some of the positions get made, won and lost, and then we can cut down. So we quickly cut down to get that unit back on the straight, as we always do. We've got the medium and hards in the perfect order, and we will just focus on our own race. We'll get the rival push in any second, as well as Tsunoda makes a move on Esteban Ocon. Good little move there. And what we got around us, a lot of mediums and hards, so a lot of lap 3 pitters. And here comes that rival we spoke about. We're going to try and just get Tsunoda past, see if we can get him another position here. And we can, up to P9. Gasly P15. Just about doing 4 laps as we stand. Can Tsunoda get another one? We can. We're just timing our pushes at the minute. And then we'll put back onto boost and put back onto boost. Rival still not really getting past. He will get past now, but he's used all his power unit up to even get close to us. And he's still not going to get past, but we nearly make a move on Tsunoda. Tsunoda to Norris. Gasly looking pretty good about there as well. We're going to push now a little bit, see if we can make up an extra space, an extra spot. And we do get Norris, good move. We can go to about 33% across the line. And we can get another place. Yuki Tsunoda up to P4. Gasly all good in P13 now. And we don't really want to use too much of the battery. We're going to push Pierre Gasly all the way in though, because we're going to be conserving a fair bit on the next one. And we should get Alonso here, we do, up to P3. We're behind P2 and P1 now. And we're trying to get past. Can we get past them? Not quite, but we'll come into the pits. And Leclerc comes in with us. Pierre Gasly stuck in a bit of a traffic jam. These will be coming into the pit, so a lot of people pitting now. And we're going to send Pierre Gasly back round on his way. And he moves up. And we want to get Tsunoda through. Tsunoda does go through. So remember, you don't have to always use your power unit. As we mentioned with the Abu Dhabi Race in Series 2. Sometimes saving 15 seconds by not having to make an extra pit stop is a lot better. Car servicing is getting pretty low, but we should make it into the pits. We'll just conserve the end of this stint. And we've literally maximised the effort on Gasly. Tsunoda stuck behind Carlos Sainz and now gets through. Pierre Gasly comes in. So a very good stint from him. We're just going to keep this going. So Yuki's in P2 at the minute. Big moves by Yuki. Just saving up down the straight. And back on medium. And keep doing that down. And we've got 47% already. So when we come back for the softs, this is not a red hot track at the minute, being 30 degrees. So we're actually pretty good. We're going to have a lot of pit stops ahead of us as well. We're just going to leave it on medium. And Yuki is comfortably P2 at the minute. Comfortably. We're going to come back for some softs. And we should have a really good crack at the end of this race. Pierre Gasly is taking the scenic route. Now trying to get a few moves done. And does into P11. Rivals in the pits. That's our key battle at the minute. As we currently lead this. Tsunoda. Just about 6-7 seconds behind. 10 in fact. Behind that hard tyre in front of us. So we're trying to bridge the gap. We've got the rival. We're only 1 point ahead of this rival. And Yuki is about to come in the pits. Rival's in the pits as well. So we'll boost to come in. So it's all nervy stuff, but we're definitely trying to overcome this fantastic matchup by the game. And Tsunoda's going to come out P3, but we're going to leave him boosting. He actually gets P2. That's what we like to see. Gasly's up into P8. And hopefully they can come out before him. Looks like they can, and they can. We get a few positions extra. And what's the gap? 6.8. Can we close this gap down? We're going to leave it now, and we're going to start to push. Components failed on Alonso, who is the leader. So it looks like we're going to get this sewn up easier than we thought. And same with Gasly. Gasly's going to make them moves as well. A few people running out of tyres. And this one-stop strategy, without even worrying about the power unit, is going to work a treat. Because as we come over the line, we've got a couple of people in the pits. And that puts us into P5 with Alonso with a breakdown. Tsunoda's wrapped this race up really quickly. And Gasly now into P4. Brilliant race by him. Coming from deep in the pack. And we've got Yuki Tsunoda then. Coming round the final turn. Who is going to win. Brilliant race by Yuki. With Pierre Gasly now looking to finish off. Can he get P3? P3 and P2 are there for the taking as well. Is there any chance of a late move round the Red Bull? Not today. P4 for Pierre Gasly. And we'll wait for the rivals to finish. Just to summarise the strategy that was in Abu Dhabi. Dry race, 30-degree heat. And it was a nice 4-4 with Pierre Gasly. Even without the breakdown, we had that race in the bag. We used our power unit late and came through like a train. As the rival suddenly, finally finishes. And that is a brilliant start. So let's have a look where that puts us. And let's have a look at the strategy. It was a 4-4 with Pierre Gasly and a 3-3-2 with Yuki Tsunoda. So let's go Brazil. Last year Brazil was 8 laps. This year it is 9. So an extra lap to contend with this season. And let's see what the weather is. Weather's 35 degrees, so it's pretty hot. And we're starting P13, P16 towards the back. Now, we're going to do hards on Gasly, mediums on Tsunoda. We're going to do a 3-3-3 with Tsunoda. Potentially. But let's have a look. Can we get a good start round? And Tsunoda's going to get a nice run up the outside here. And they're going to try and push their way through. Which worked pretty well. Because Gasly's in P9. Tsunoda P11. So chances are we're going to do a 4-lap with Gasly. And a 3-lap with Tsunoda. But let's first of all have a look what's around us. And it's a bunch of softs. Some mediums and hards as well. So they might pit lap 2. Potentially. But the weather, we've got to keep an eye out, because if it gets hotter than 34 degrees, our tyres are going to basically degrade a lot quicker. Tsunoda has a look at Perez, but Stroll has a look back, and Stroll flies past us, but no problem. And we're going to do our normal save in a bit where we can. Rivals well out in front though, P1 and P2. That's what we get for having a bad matchup. But you never know. They might change with bots. Bots break down. If this is a bot, we've got a very good chance still at this point. But this is a strategy either way you want to follow. As Tsunoda comes up the main straight. No pit stops. There's one for Piastri actually. So he's come in to make an early one. And we're going to bring in Tsunoda here as well. Now we can just probably push him in. See if we can make up a couple of spots. Gasly's well on track to do 4, which is what we like to see. Tsunoda can't get round at the minute, and that's because them softs and hards have been a bit of a pain. Can we get a move at all? There's one. And then we come into the pits. Absolute chaos coming into this pits as we move on to do 4th lap with Pierre Gasly. Where does Gasly move up to though? P10. And Tsunoda gets out in 19th. And we're going to move to mediums now after that push from Gasly. Tsunoda, we're going to probably medium conserve now for about 3 laps and have a go later on. See if we can not get past a few pit stops ahead. There's quite a few pit stops to happen still as they all come in. And can Tsunoda get past Magnussen? Looks like he's going to potentially make a move. Tries. Doesn't get through though. So both cars on different strategies. There's a move by Tsunoda though, up to P13 now. And we've got probably a couple of pit stops still to happen. So this is not over yet. Rivals pit in as well, coming out on the hards. They're well clear. And we're up to P12. Tsunoda making good ground. And now up to P9. That's what we were on about. We're going to pit this lap then. And we're going to come out on the mediums. Can we get past Stroll? We're trying to get past Stroll. Now we finally do. So it's up to P8. Trying to go for Hamilton at the same time. We do get him up to P7. And hopefully a clear run into the pits. And we do. So Tsunoda's in. Gasly carries on round. And we're going to push him a bit because he can come back for some softs here. So let's push Pierre Gasly a little bit. And he's got the hard and the soft. Hard and Stroll ahead, but he hasn't anymore. As Gasly's trying hard to get Piastri. Can't get the job done. He nearly gets him up the hill though. And he'll come into the pits. Tsunoda's up to P10 though. Make that P8 now. Waiting for that last lap burst. We've got a breakdown for the rival, it looks like. Could totally miss that. So this is going to be our win. And we now get ahead of the cars. One more stop ahead of us for Lance Stroll. We'll be able to jump them. And up the hill we go. We're going to try and conserve a bit again. Give us a bit more tyre availability for the end of this race. And Gasly up to P8. Tsunoda's got 29% of tyre now. Gasly got 25. We're going to push these now then. Let's see if we can get fourth. There's a move on to P4. Let's push Gasly as well. So we've used all the power unit, all the tyres, and here's Gasly on Alonso for P7 as well. So that is a very good strategy in Brazil. A 4-3-2 and a 3-3-3. And we'll await the rival again, as we always do, just to cover off exactly how we went through with that one. But up to 4th and 7th from 16th, 19th on the grid, I think it was, or something like that. So another brilliant strategy that you can follow at home, and you too can make up some massive ground exactly like I do. 39 points in the bag. And looking at the debrief, there you go. Look at that. 3-3-3 and a 4-3-2. You can do a 5-5, but a 5-4, sorry, but it's very tough on the tyres. Here we go with Spain, Barcelona for our final track of Series 4. And weather 34 degrees, so pretty hot. And let's see the strategy that we're going to do as well. P13, P16, our standard start. And we're going to do 2 laps on Tsunoda. 4-4 with Gasly. 4-4 Gasly. And a 2-3-3 with Yuki. So, let's push off the line like normal. Gasly gets a slow start. Hopefully he gets away with it. Bit of a traffic jam behind him, but gets away in the end. Tsunoda straight down into P10. We'll keep him pushing again. And all the way around the outside. Look at that. Brilliant start there by Yuki up to P P9 and Gasly not far behind in P12. Probably just do the 2 laps for Tsunoda as he gets into P8. Lovely move. And yeah, 2 laps definitely for Tsunoda, and then we'll come in. We'll conserve down the straight. Nice and easy. And then launch back up. And we're just behind Ocon now. Rivals pushing hard. As always, they'll probably break down no end of times. So we're going to come in for some mediums then, this time around. So let's push with Ocon ahead of us. See if we can get past him. And there we can. So we pushed past. And now right behind Stroll in P7. Who's going to come in as well. Pierre Gasly will continue round on decent tyre management as well. And we move back up to medium. Out comes Tsunoda. We will medium boost him as we get done by the slow pit exit. But that's alright for now. And then Pierre Gasly, we're going to start to push a little bit now. See if we can get him past K-Mag in front. Who looks like he's pushing pretty hard himself. So we're well on top on the 4. And here goes a good move by Tsunoda. We'll push down the straight again. A few people pitting now as well. And that puts us in to P7. We're going to keep pushing. See if we can get a move on Carlos Sainz here. Doesn't look like we can. Oh, there we go. We finally get him. We make our way up to P6. We're going to cut down, try and get some of that power unit back. ASAP. I don't mind losing a position there. We're going to conserve all the way in. And then boost in as well. Here comes Tsunoda. Down the straight. Should get up to around 6th place here. And does. Back for some more mediums. As Gasly comes back out in P13. But he's going to get done by that pit exit slow mode. But survives in the end. Let's hold power unit with Tsunoda. Has a look at the pink car of Leclerc. Can't get it done. Is there any way past? Not yet. We're going to come into the pits. Remember, we started at the back of this grid very early on. And we're just going to bide our time and push towards the end. We're going to cut down. We're going to push Tsunoda out the pits though. And now he finally gets caught out. Gasly 15th though. But a couple of cars ahead to pit, and we're building the power unit ready for an attack. Leclerc's got a component failure out front again, like they always do. We're building up with Tsunoda as well. All ready to launch an offensive attack with a lap and a half to go. So Tsunoda again, down the straight. Gasly in a right traffic jam at the minute. And round the first corner. Leclerc coming back out on them softs, as you can see. And after you've saved all this power unit, it's about time to let it rip. So, coming around this corner, let's go with Yuki. Let's go with Gasly. Let's close that gap on a few cars, and already into P7. This is what we've been saving for. Gasly P12. I'm going to start making some room. Tsunoda up to P6 now. And Gasly into the top 10, about to go P9. And that's why we saved this. Tsunoda's into P5. And we're on medium boost to finish. Gasly looking at Ocon. Can he get one more? He can, up to P8. And we're not going to get any more places than that, I don't think. In this race, we could potentially get Perez, or we could potentially lose a spot as they come through. But Sonoda's P5, we get that place back, and Gasly finish 8th. So P5 and P8, another great strategy. 2-3-3 for Sonoda and a 4-4 with Pierre Gasly in the heat of Spain. Worked an absolute treat. Let's have a look at the debrief. And as you can see, 2-3-3 and a 4-4 rounded off a perfect finish to that race. So, hope you've enjoyed the Series 4. Hope you've enjoyed it alongside Series 2 and 3. And I hope to see you in the next series, which will be How to Win Series 5.